no secret that in Montana, largely based on individuals retiring, that we are going to be facing a worker shortage in the future. And what we need to be doing is immediately addressing that, and RevUp provides that opportunity.
So RevUp Montana is a $25 million grant program funded by the U.S. Department of Labor. The project has a primary focus of helping improve college programs, but also in radically transforming the way that we offer two-year education in the state to help close the skills gap and to help increase the return on investment for students in that system.
We really spent a lot of time, an entire year, traveling the state. We really reached out to Montana's business community to find out what it was they needed, how they went about recruiting, and what their issues were in moving their industry forward.
One of the hopes that we have with our project is that if we can begin to aggregate the voice of industry, and they can tell us specifically what they need, by also bringing together the Montana Department of Labor and Industry and the two-year colleges, we can respond really effectively to those needs.
I think one of the best things that's come of all of the grant opportunities that we have received in Montana over the last couple of years is the newfound collaboration between the Department of Labor and Industry and the Montana University system. These grants have provided us a remarkable opportunity to really work together.
First and foremost, we need to be listening to the employers. What sort of needs will they have not only today but in the future? And what can we then do to make sure that that pipeline of talented and trained workers are there?
In aggregate, we've worked with over 100 businesses that have been supportive of our project in terms of providing feedback, helping design programs, providing equipment or supplies, or providing instructors to help train the trainer. So as we were putting the RevUp Montana project together, we focused on occupations that were both growing and had high wages associated with them.
When we're talking about the RevUp Montana grant, I think the most important part of this is that the employers not only get the employees they need, but the students have invested money into their education. And thankfully, we're working in fields that there's such a huge demand. With the addition of the workforce navigator position, that person is focusing not only on recruiting students, but also contacting employers.
My position is super unique because I know the student before they've even applied to their training. I watch them all the way through their training, and I know their unique strengths, their weaknesses, so employers can feel super confident at the person that I recommend because you've got literally a 2 to 3 year reference. I mean, where do you get that?
When I left the Army and I came to the community college, I wasn't really sure what was going to be available or which direction to take off on, which classes to take. And it really was the point in which I sat down with the navigator and he explained to me, okay, this is the track you want to follow if this is the end goal you want to reach. And that basically put it in black and white for me, and it's been really, really good for me.
I was very, very happy with the way the instructors treated me with the respect, the way they communicated with me daily, and helped that transition, especially coming from industry to full-time student within a year, was pretty amazing for me.
Part of our partnership with the college means that we actively seek those individuals who are trained with industry-recognized credentials in order to make us more competitive on the global market.
The RevUp program ultimately implements and institutes also national certifications and standards. So I think it's good for the businesses as well as that individual Montanan.
In my personal opinion, I think if you have a certificate, you have your part, and you have your credentials, your interview process is going to go a lot swifter. I just believe it's going to help a guy attain a higher wage as well.
So I think employers are often faced with the challenge of trying to guess if an employee can do a specific thing. The industry-recognized credentials really allow that employer an opportunity to know, all right, this person can do a V-groove backer, they can do a lateral weld, they can do these very specific functions, and it takes the guesswork out of it. In designing our programs with employers in mind, we've really made sure that we've aligned programs with the skills and competencies that their workforce is going to need. And we've tried to hand deliver them students that have those competencies.
Our initial conversations were, you start here at the program, you work hard, you do what you're supposed to do, we're going to help you get a job.
The most important thing I feel about RevUp Montana is that they have placed the importance on the individual, on making sure that they get a good job, they're taken care of while they're in their training. I think that is the most important thing about RevUp Montana. They have really done their homework and made sure that the individual is valued above everything else.
The classes have been molded around my schedule, so being a single dad, working 2 jobs, and also being a full-time college student.
Our programs really try to meet people where they're at. And often those people have jobs, have families, have other obligations that they need to meet as well. So we're trying to offer programs at times that are flexible, in ways that are flexible, trying to put as much programming online as we can so that people can access that at the time that's most convenient to them, in the ways that are most convenient to them.
The most meaningful part to me as a workforce navigator is after everything's said and done, from the beginning to the training to the end, when the student comes back and they walk into my office and they look for me and they put their hand out and they say, thank you. That is the most meaningful thing to me. I can live off of that for years.
I think in Montana we're unique in as much as higher education, the governor's office, and private industry really sits around the same table and says, how can we move the state forward? And as a result, all 3 areas are really moving in the same direction through RevUp.